Hello, hello. Now we have a new chapter of Akane-banashi, starting off with a color page. Always excited. It's been a while since I've started reading a new series like this. Well, I guess it's not new. 16 chapters in, but new enough that I'm still like really rooting for it, that it's still kind of in the danger zone where it hasn't established itself enough that it won't just get pretty suddenly canceled. So I'm always, I joined a Discord server for this series that talks about other authors hyping it up or how all the sales are doing. A lot of like Rakugo people, like actual professional Rakugoka, are talking about it on Twitter. So everything indicates that the series is doing really well, and I almost feel some like personal sense of pride, or maybe some weird empathetic pride where I'm proud of Akane herself as a character, kind of crossing my empathy over into the fictional realm for real world things, which doesn't make any sense. But once you get a certain amount into anime and manga, you don't really make sense at all anymore as a human being. And that's where I am. And that's where we are when we read a new story like this. The cup that she's competing in, which is supposed to just be for amateurs, so as a professional Rakugo student, she's only very technically qualified for, and this caused no small amount of controversy. She has to win it using Jugeru. That's what it's called, right? A very classic, perhaps overperformed, cliche Rakugo of all Rakugo, which is really going to put some skills to the test that maybe she is not the most adept in. Now, I kind of feel like for narrative purposes, it makes sense for her to win this. But at the same... Jugemu. What did I say? Jugemu. I just remembered. But at the same time, this is an easy position in the story to have her suffer her first big catastrophic loss. Like, things have been going pretty well for her, all things considered. So, I don't know. It's actually quite tense. Usually with an arc like this, you can kind of tell from a mile away what they're going to try to do with it narratively. But here, there's a lot on the table. There's a lot of options. So let's find out. Here we have a new character, a monthly Rakugo writer. Interesting. I like that she's making this inference that there's at least 28 companies here to cover the event. Seems a little dour, perhaps. This isn't the exclusive that she was maybe hoping for. She's going to be competing for interviews with everyone else. Even more here tomorrow. Think about it. Today's only the preliminary round. 30 people past the application stage. Narrow those down to the finalists. And then that's the actual selection where Isho, our final boss type character, shows up. Soon event. Okay. It is. This is the Nationals of Rakugo. So I feel like Akane is going to be competing against a lot of like Rakugo clubs across Japan. This isn't going to be a cakewalk for her, because all of those people could have been stars of their own manga about their high school Rakugo club and how far they're going to go. It's totally solidified his status as a pop culture icon. Whoever gets a stamp of approval is going to be overwhelmed with work offers. His apprentice, Kaisei Arakawa, is enjoying that effect right now. Foremost young Rakugoka on the scene. So I like this. They're kind of striking a balance where it's not something like Saki, where Saki takes place in an alternate universe where Mahjong is like the most important thing in the world. But they're still taking a few preliminary differences between our world, where Rakugo is quite obscure, and the world of this series, where it kind of makes sense that there's so much heat and competition and interest among the youth in Rakugo. By introducing a character like Isho Arakawa and having this really infamous scandal where he expelled all of his students, it makes a lot of sense that there would be just this much additional attention. It's not an insane amount. It's well justified by the series, but it's enough that they can write some storylines that they couldn't either otherwise, like claiming that, oh yeah, high schoolers from across the country are super eager to compete in Rakugo. The point is, this isn't just a student event. In addition to be the star of the next generation. She can't stand this guy. Ooh. Ooh. Here we go. Here's this arc's major rival. The genius Rakugo student and champion of the Karaku Club the 2 previous years thanks to his freestyle creative narration style. Interesting, freestyle. So they've talked a little bit about how much Rakugoka kind of have free reign to change the delivery of things, to change the timing of things, but they've always kept it pretty grounded that they're still performing a set text, a set story. So to emphasize that this person is freestyle, how freestyle do they mean? How far are they going to go? Are they going to start doing crowd work? Calling out random people in the audience, being like, yeah, I'm not sure how, I can't do it. That's the difficult thing about it. So who is this? Karashi Narimaya. Great character design. Super tall. Gotta respect it as a super tall person myself. Weird haircut, weird smile, weird fashion sense. I'm all about it. And again, I'm just instantly drawn to how do they close the gap between everything that we can assume about this character, everything we learn about this character, and how they exist as a Rakugoka. An immensely successful Rakugoka at that. Seems shallow. Got tons of offers from major companies. He's doing this event. So they're kind of spiteful about this too, I guess. That this is really supposed to be an amateur competition. How do you count as an amateur if you're getting offers for work? This kid seems magically good at everything. So I end up running this year too. Not just Rakugo Club this year. Plenty of stage and voice actors entering too. Hoping Master Isho's stamp will give them a big break. That's pretty interesting. That voice actors who don't actually want to be Rakugoka, but want to be more prominent in their own field, doing anime voice acting or whatever, this is still a way to get a ton of press in a purely meritocracy competition. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, and here we get another rival character. Hikaru Koragi. This has an idol written all over her. She's like radiating idol energy. Just the way she's drawn is so idol core. This will be kind of cool too. Already I'm trying to speculate on how an idol would lend that kind of energy, that kind of ability to draw fans and to feel like you're intimately connecting with fans even though there's a million people at your concert. The sort of things that make idols so charming and magnetic and popular. How will these translate into Rakugo? I don't know. The girl who plays Saruel. One of the hottest voice actors around. She plays Saruel on Eden's Nova. Whoa! Eden's Nova looks like a very generic girls action type series. We got main girl with bob-ish hair. We got long hair princessy girl. We got twin tails, athletic looking girl. And then she plays presumably the villainess. I don't know. Looks great. I see the main characters all have like hearts on their chest, and then the villain, maybe Saruel, has a heart, but like her outfit's like black or whatever. She's freaking out about this. Can play emotion with her breath alone. One of the best emoting young actors, according to my personal research. These two are definitely frontrunners. But is there a third? Is it perhaps our girl? I'm not losing my home turf. I like the interaction between these two already. This is going to be pretty fun. That was the defending champion. Should have glared at him instead. I like this character already of Mr. Madoka. Her beleaguered, stumbling assistant, perhaps. I don't know. I'm implying a lot. I'm inferring a lot, I guess, from his character, but that's what I imagine. She makes time to acknowledge her fans. I stan her. Good translation, Stephen Paul. And Stephen Paul, man, always a genius. Always knows just the right amount to localize, to make it really readable and enjoyable without losing out on any meaning. So she spots the reporters from Rakugo Monthly. Who are you interviewing? And then we just cut from here. Okay, I got a little confused. We cut from here. Everybody's in formal wear. In their performing clothes. Even some of the other competitors are big fans. Once you start, there's no end. Please no fan interaction. She famous? Maybe with all the otaku nerds. Whoa. And here, of course, is our girl, Akane, right? Correcting the obi with absolutely no hesitation, no reverence for her celebrity status. Who else but our Akane could be so bold and yet so correct? Someone pointed out in the comments, I think of one of my videos, or maybe I just read it elsewhere, that a really nice detail of the series, oops, I knocked over my mic, hopefully that didn't make a terrible noise. One of the nice little details of the series is that Akane's mom is a stylist, right? They mentioned that really early on. So it actually makes a lot of sense that Akane like dresses the way she does, that her personality is kind of the way it is, because you can kind of imagine being brought up with the parents she had and the professions they have, that she would end up being this sort of person. So I like that, and she knows when the obi is crooked. Here's our superstar man, Arakawa, the young star of Rakugo. He's oozing with style. Is he really younger than me? Oh my goodness. He's really younger than that guy? I thought this competition got cut off at like 19 or something. Maybe I misremembered. It's not just his looks, it's also his aura. Huh. Ha ha. Ha ha. This is who Kaisei chose as his favorite to win it. Not your idol. Not your Rakugo 2-time champion. But the person he calls out in the crowd is the humble student that opened for him once, right? That's how he knows her? Oh, everyone thinks that he's talking to the idol. But no. He's talking to Akane. Oh, this is good. Hello again. The battle stance. Yeah, that's right. He did go for the hug. She's not into that. Oh, so good. I like this. I really like how they did this whole chapter from the perspective of the writers and how that's set up what is like, you know, a full-fledged story in itself. The idol versus the kind of weirdo champion, how they see each other, how they perceive each other, how they're being perceived by the crowds. And then you almost see Akane from their eyes just as much as you see, you know, the history of the series up until now. Who is this girl? Bold proclamation, your presence here means... No. Neither of those. I don't care about either of those. I like here that they show his face when he's speculating that she's going to join the Arakawa school. I'm sure he wants to be in the Arakawa school. I'm sure he's getting all sorts of offers for work, but he wants to be legit. Rise through the ranks with a proper master. Perhaps you're looking to peruse your profile that it shows the voice actor who's thinking to do just that. These aren't mind-blowing things, you know. I'm not like, whoa, can't believe they came up with something like that. But it's just well done. It's just nice to see. Got a question for Isho Arakawa. That's the only reason I'm here. Can't afford to miss. Exactly. Since the day we met, I've never treated this like a mere game. Don't intend to let anyone beat me. Oh, this is exciting. This is exciting. This is like a long chapter, too. Am I crazy? Maybe it's just because the BNHA chapter I read right before this is really short. No, we're up to page 23. Stuff's just going and going. All right. Her friends from high school and the skeptical teacher have shown up. Oh no, that's not her friend from high school. That's her. Wait. This is her senpai, right? This is her friend from high school, right? She didn't tell you. Last time I saw her, she said, "Finally turned Yugemu into words." All right. Here we go. Sorry, I'm so bad at like recognizing characters. This is her friend from high school, right? And this is her senpai. Right? Right. And this is Skeptical Sensei. No. These are both her Rakugo senpai. That's not her friend from high school. Her friend from high school looks different. Anyways, none of this matters. The important thing is that she turned Yugemu into words. So, we talked a little bit about what Yugemu is as a name, and 4 Clubs left a really good comment talking about how basically in if you were a Christian, this would be the equivalent of naming your child like every patron saint and every one of Jesus' disciples, and so that each aspect of the name actually does have some sort of significance in Buddhism, I suppose. So I guess turning it into words, somehow you can get across that significance, that holiness, maybe? Or maybe it just has more to do with being able to enunciate it as if it was actually a normal name made out of normal words that you're used to saying, to give it that familiarity as if, you know, you're actually speaking as someone who has been calling this kid that his whole life. I don't know. I'm very, very curious. This little riddle of your Yugemu is just sounds. How do you make it into words? I want to see how that comes to fruition. All right, Akane's on stage. She swallows her person kanji really deftly to quell her nervousness. I like that the series doesn't really dwell on things like stage fright, things like, oh, the size of the crowd, oh, this occasion is so much more intense. It does a little bit, and I think the way that it does it is interesting and empathetic and relatable. But it doesn't make it the central tension of the series, you know? And I like that. I like that as a change of pace. That it's not about the sheer difficulty of performing in public, because Akane actually has that down. Now we can actually entirely focus on the art form. So yes, they acknowledge that this is a huge stage for her. This is a crowd unlike any crowd she's had before, where everyone else is already invested in Rakugo and very judgmental of Rakugo. And there's also an unprecedentedly high amount of stuff on the line. This is her once-in-a-lifetime chance, perhaps, to sit down with Isho. But they summarize all of that worry into this just one quick page of her eating the human kanji, and she's good to go. At least that's what I'm being led to believe. And I really, really like that we can focus entirely on the performance. Okay, I'm very excited. I'm so glad the series is doing well. I'm so glad more and more people are finding out about it. I'm really, really excited to see what happens next. I just love it so much. Can't wait to see some performances. That's all for now.